Okay, good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday and it's our Discover Your Next Chapter social call. We are so excited for you to be here tonight. My name is Brandy Rogers, and every week I look forward to coming here and hearing inspirational stories from other leaders, other market partners who have had success or just starting out their business. I just love collecting all the stories because when you run into people and talk to them, not everybody's going to relate to why you're doing this business, but it's so great, our culture. By collecting the stories, you get to share other people's stories with them and really shine a light on the market partners and the company. It's such an incredible place to be. So thank you for being here and thank you for taking time out in your evening. If you are a guest here tonight, welcome. You are extra special and we would like to enter your name into our draws tonight. We are giving away two of our most popular and, in my opinion, most amazing nighttime skincare products that you can have. That would be our Rewind Nectar and our Night Haven Night Cream. So I am gonna, without further ado, I'm going to introduce our guest speaker tonight. I have not personally heard her story, but I have heard lots of awesome things about her and have stalked her Facebook page a little bit for some inspo. So Dawn Jaeger is an executive director with our company. She's also a mom, and I believe you're in California, right, Dawn?
Yes. Yep.
Yes, California, and she's a Cadillac earner. One thing about Dawn that I have heard is she is super consistent in her business, and you will hear tonight that consistency really plays a huge role in the growth of your business. So I'm going to let Dawn take it away. Thank you for being here, Dawn. Take over.
Okay, so I'm just telling you a little bit about my whole story, correct?
Yes, please share your story, and then Monty will ask you some questions after, if that's okay.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, you guys, thank you for having me. My name's Dawn Jaeger. I'm in California, and I was the anti-network marketer when I was approached about this business. I've been a traditional entrepreneur my whole life. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm a military veteran. I started a trucking company as a female-owned business. I was president of another construction company, and that is how I always believed that business was. I believed you always had to trade time for money because that is what I did. And for me, network marketing was something that in my mind, I had a skewed vision of it, but I always thought I saw stay-at-home moms doing it to make a few extra bucks, and it never really was anything more than that for me. I honestly thought in that moment it was above me or below me actually, and I never really entertained it. And I actually never even really supported people that were in those companies because I don't know. It was just, what you don't know, you don't know. So I've been through many, many, many challenges with my life. I actually just celebrated my son's birthday yesterday. He would have been 19. So I had a terminally ill son for many years. So for me, entrepreneurship provided me with a way to give him the best that we could give him. And it's just something that I always did. I just always worked. I always made a really good salary, but I always worked a lot of hours to achieve that. Most recently, I was a realtor, and because I had gone through a divorce at that time. So then I became a real estate agent, and I had been recruited to do new home sales. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with new home sales. It was such a lucrative position for me. I worked every single weekend. That was the drawback, and I missed out on a lot of things. So while I made the big paycheck, I was missing out on, some of the things that were most important to me. Then my girlfriend moved away from here. We're in Granite Bay, California. She moved to Miami, and her friend there introduced her to Monat. She told me about it, and I dismissed it right away. A couple months later, because one thing that I am is a product junkie. So I was watching her hair transformation and all the things. And so she approached me about it, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And then one day she caught me in the driveway leaving for work, and she's like, hey, let's go into business together. And I honestly thought she meant buying real estate, flipping some houses, because that was something that I did. And she's like, no, let's sell shampoo. And I was like, oh God, here you go again. And honestly, I signed up as a market partner for the product pack only for the discount. Like I was like, all right, I at least I know I want to try these products, and I'm gonna buy the products because I wanted them. zero intention. And I told her, I will never talk about this on social media and I will never go to any of those parties or have any of those parties. So that was kind of like my hard, hard nose that I wasn't going to do. And so this is what's so interesting about this business. So here I am. I was a second wash and I fell in love with the products person. So I was the one that is the ultimate sharer. You guys, I just finished watching a show on Netflix and I'm going to tell every single person in the world about it because that's what I do. Makeup, shampoo, my favorite store, sales, whatever. So I was on the playground at school pickup 4 years ago and I was telling people, I was like, oh my God, I'm using this new shampoo, da da da. Next thing you know, I'm building a team without even trying to build a team because they're like, well, we want to do it and we want to do it. So it honestly became to where I had a couple people. We had a little bit of activity happening here in Northern California to the point where there was really nothing happening in Northern California. So, our regional at the time contacted me and they're like, we want to come out and do an event. And I was like, no, I'm not doing events. Like, that's not for me. But then my friend in Miami, who now is actually back here in California, was like, I'll fly out there. Let's just do the event. And so this was the first event. And you guys, it was this time right here 4 years ago. I had added a couple people. I was like, all right, fine, I'll do this event. We did the event and I remember hitting MMB. And I then remember watching a segment on TV and it talked about the way of the future is, web-based businesses, having multiple streams of income, which I was already a proponent of multiple streams of income. So I was like, all right, what if I actually gave it a year and went all in? And that's kind of what I did, you guys. I just kind of was like, all right, I'm going to give it a year. It's either going to work or it's not. I'm working a full-time job. I have 3 kids with very, very busy, active extracurricular lives. I have this much time to put into it. So I will be intentional with that time. I'll sacrifice a little, but 1 year is what it's getting. So long story short, within that year, I got my Cadillac. I hit associate executive director, and then I hit executive director. And at that point, I had a hard conversation with myself and I was like, okay, I said if I hit executive director, I would officially retire from real estate, which still was so weird for me to ever envision doing because I feel like I always had to do the hard things, right? And this seemed too good to be true in a way, but I knew that I wanted my time freedom back. So it's been just a little over 3 years and I haven't done a real estate transaction. I now refer my deals out and I've officially been with Monet. And the one thing that I really wish I could squeeze every human, like, okay, write-offs alone, you guys, it's $200. Like, get your products, whether you work the business or not, like, see, and this is me thinking like a business person, right? Like, I'm like, there's zero reason for you not to do this. And a lot of people will jump into it with those aspirations and then really realize like we are we are partnered with a unicorn company. I've been on 14 paid for trips since I've been with Monet. Just everything, the people that it's brought into my life, the products are amazing and they just keep on giving and giving and giving. And so I I am now the biggest, loudest voice telling people how amazing this opportunity is. And I honestly believe there's so people out there who showcase this business in the wrong way. And those must have been the people that I was following or that I saw that were doing this business. Because when you actually go about it and do this business the right way, the rewards are endless. And that's what's so cool about being, on a team with you guys. Like we give you guys the tools, we give you the systems, and it really just boils down to consistency. So I'm going to piggyback on consistency because you had said that. I literally, during that year, had probably an hour a day, and that was in like 15-minute increments throughout the day. And I was a big Netflix girl, right? When I got in bed at night, like Netflix was my it was kind of my reward, and I gave it up. I basically was like, all right, I'm going to give up Netflix. Whatever time I'm doing, I'm going to watch videos. I'm going to learn. I'm just going to try to feed my brain with something every single night. Every time I was in the car, that's when I picked up the phone and called people. One of the big things I think so many people think when they jump into this opportunity is I don't have a following. I'm not good on social media. I didn't even post on social media for 6 months. I barely did a live before I even hit director. Like I was terrified of public speaking on, Facebook Lives. Most people build their business, you guys, all your people, their contacts are in your phone. Everything is, they're people, like, I remember I was never afraid to ask for people for, something. So like my sister wouldn't even touch this business with the 10-foot pole. But I was like, who do you know that would be good doing this business? And one of my girls, Carmen in Ohio, she's one of our she's always on the leaderboard for VIPs, and she's one of my rock stars. And I wouldn't have gotten her if I didn't ask my sister for somebody. So people know people. And I think sometimes we think like, oh, I don't know that many people, or I don't talk to too many people. You guys, all it takes is 2 people for you to get your Cadillac work in this business with you. And so, the mindset of I'm going to do it, I don't have another option, is traditionally what I feel like gets people, over the hump of feeling like they're, going to be successful or not. But yeah, and still to this day, every single day, I do the things that I need to do, personal development, the little things, reaching out. And I do tell people, because yesterday was my son's birthday. So, I always say we're allowed to have a bad day. We're allowed to have a bad 2 days, but you can't have a bad week. Okay. So sometimes when you're feeling like you're in that whatever, you just got to kick yourself out of it. And if that means 2 hours of personal development, you just got to do the work, and you got to do the work for you. I'm rambling so fast. I don't even know, I want to know do you have any questions for me? I don't hear you now.
That was so awesome, Dawn. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here. This is my first night on this call on Tuesdays. So I'm just so excited. I was so excited to hear your story. So much of how you started out was exactly the same as me and how I felt. And it just kind of happened. And then you stumble across it accidentally. But I love how you intentionally made a decision to make a difference. Yeah. And that is huge part, that a piece that a lot of people miss. I know that it's something that a lot of us struggle with. So
well, and another thing too, you guys, like being a realtor, being a business owner, you guys, we're always hustling for the next deal, right? There's nothing guaranteed with when you're in that line of work. And I think sometimes we're afraid to have the conversations with, the successful real estate agent. Well, I've got a bunch of realtors on my team that are successful, because the one thing, if you could just understand, and you target them with multiple streams of income. You don't target with network marketing, because people have to organically learn what that means. Because for me, I wouldn't, if you would have told me that, the answer is automatic no. So I feel like so many people that are lenders, real estate agents, I mean, there's how many people work in, bartend, waitress, you guys, everybody needs something. And who knew, what would happen in the world in this last year, where this opportunity is even more, to me, like validating for people. And, I always tell people, like, you've got to figure out what that person's hot button is to know, like, all right, what is it that could help them? Is it time freedom? Is it the trips? Is it the, they need to pay whatever? And I feel like we've got to be able to talk the talk accordingly, because we always get stuck. Like, it's not a one size fits all. And I honestly think that was one of the blessings for me, is I figured out I can talk about Monique to anybody, anywhere, and I could figure out how to do it without sounding like I'm selling anything,
Absolutely. That's so awesome. We have people asking questions here in the comments too. Somebody asked, what if you don't know a lot of people?
Okay, so I have my first 2 directors. One of them was a successful real estate agent. The other one was a super quiet introvert that worked in an office. And we're at a disadvantage right now. Like, how I grew my business this is what's hard for me this year, because I then ended up becoming the queen of doing the blowout parties and the events, and the things that I said I wouldn't do is actually what I really ended up doing, because you end up building this like community of people. And so this last year, being limited, especially here in California, of the get-togethers, we've really had to pivot and do more of these virtual events, which I don't like them as much. Like, I'm still a person to person. But the girl that did it, like, we just would bring, she would bring 2 people in. And at the end of the day, she hit director with 8 active lines. So you don't necessarily need a lot of people. If you get the right ones and you're in this business, you will eventually figure out who's going to stick. And if you can build leadership within the people you have, that's where the most success is. I'm not I don't recruit as many market partners as some people, but I've been able to promote MMBs, and I've been able to I've had pretty much a really good consistency with keeping them. And I think that's what's most important, is realizing, you might recruit one person a month, and in that one person a month, you don't know what's going to happen. And so I always tell people and I have girls on my team that are big influencers that are struggling. So I think we get caught up on, we don't know too many people, when in reality, if you have 2 people to work this business with you, that can take you, to a lot of places.
Yes, so true. So true. I love it. Thank you so much for everything. I don't want to take too much more time of your time or everybody's time. So I just want to make sure that all of our guests on are going to put their names in the chat, please, so that we can make sure you're in the draw. And I'm going to introduce you to our senior executive director upline, Aaron Henley. And he is our guru of everything. He has stepped in and filled some major big shoes, and we're just so proud of him and everything he's done, and so grateful for him. So I'm excited for you guys to hear a little bit about what Aaron's got going on.
So thanks a lot, Monty, for that introduction. So first I want to say, Dawn, I've met you several times, and I've really never been able to talk to you. I've never sat down and had that conversation, but to hear you speak about Monat and your story, it's amazing.
And can I say something too? Because
Sure.
Being how I was before and going through what I've been through, when you go through, I lost a child to a rare, I'm going deep, but you guys, he got diagnosed with Batten's disease. Batten's disease, if you Google it, would be the one thing you never want your child to have to go through. It's like an ALS for a kid. So from the age of 4 to 10, I basically traveled the world. I had a nonprofit. I raised $1 million. I did everything I could. We went to China twice for stem cells. And you really start to, I don't know, it's really something that really just molds you. So for me, I then poured myself into entrepreneurship and business because I know I needed to provide for my kids. And so when I tell people now, if I could write on my dream job on a piece of paper, I'm living it right now. And who knew, I'm 47. Who knew at my age that I would find my dream job after doing so many things and being such a skeptic of this industry? And that is why I just feel like I'm so passionate about it, because the company, we're a unicorn. They love us. They give back to us. They appreciate us. They, on top of that, my other son, I have a competitive dancer. So 1.5 years ago, he started having seizures and had to have brain surgery at the Cleveland Clinic a little over 1 year ago. And I've got the CEO texting me, you know what I mean? And so when you feel like, oh my God, these people really care about us, that is where I can tell you, you never know what this business will do for you until you're in a situation where your time is everything. Because I was able to take a month off and go sit in Cleveland with him and be able to do those things. So this, I can't emphasize enough, everybody, that you guys, this is like a family that you didn't even know you needed.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had to do those.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Everyone thinks it's always been so easy for me. And then I open my mouth and they're like,
No, your story is one really touches the heart, and it really resonates. It resonates with me a lot. I got to be honest with you. And it's one of the things in this business that really people don't even comprehend what happens through something like this. You actually change into a person that you didn't know you needed to be.
Yep.
Your whole life, you've been living a certain life, and you start to evolve through this business in a way that you, at least the people who maybe are successful or maybe become comfortable in this business, they really evolve themselves into a role that they never envisioned for themselves. I'm definitely not a people person. I would say I'm not a people person. I don't like people. Okay, just so everybody knows, I don't like people. But the reality is, I love people. What happened to me this year, of course, I lost Roxy, and it starts to change everything you think about. The love and caring that came from this company after Roxy passed just touched me in a way that I couldn't ever think of doing anything else. The need there for me to spend my entire life trying to figure out how to help people have, maybe it's just the best hair they ever had in their life, maybe it's the best skincare they ever had in their life, or insides with the wellness. Maybe those are the things that I'm helping with. Or even in 2020, maybe it's putting food on the table for someone who doesn't know how they're going to find money for that next meal because a virus made them stay home. Government made them not be able to go to work. Their boss said, no, sorry, we're not making enough anymore because of COVID and you're just out of luck. And so all of those things affected people so much in this year that this is an opportunity for us all, at least the market partners that are here. And the reason why we reach out to people, it ain't because we want to sell more shampoo. It's not at all. Maybe it was when the very first day you started. That's so far behind you so fast. We care enough about every single person, cared enough about you to invite you to this call, to give you that chance. And Dawn said it great. It's $200, man. You know what I mean? 249 Canadian, I think. But
well, and you get to this place where you know what this business has done for you, and it brings me to tears thinking of, it's obviously the financial freedom, comes as you hit director, but then there's time freedom. And when you really, really take a look at what time freedom really means, and you look at people that are single moms that are working 3 jobs and juggling them, and you're like, I want you to have the feelings that I have right now. To you to be able to experience, the ability to go to your kids, all their events and their conferences and everything. And when you come from a place of truly helping and serving people, that is where they start to feel like they're part of, our extended family here.
It is, and it's so awesome. And it's really something that this is why we do this business. And it really is at the heart of both Dawn and myself and Brandy and the people that invited you guys here. And I don't want to take a lot more time. Obviously, the one thing that I try to talk about at the end of these calls is always, there's a reason. We've got great products. We've got science backed behind the products. We create all naturally based, healthy products. That's what the world needed right now. They want them safely delivered to people. People wanted them safely delivered to themselves. And it's kind of a fit very, very well. And we're a company that doubled our size in the last 12 months. And if you think about that, we're going to continue to do that because people still need this. And this company creates products, make sure they work, make sure they're safe and natural and clean. And that's what they do it. And the people that invited you and the leadership team are doing this because they want to see people change their lives. And so then, they take, it's unheard of. They take 50% of the revenue that they make on selling products and give it right back to the market partners that are on this call. And it's all because the senior leaders in this company are trying to change their lives. And like Dawn said, she got a call from the CEO. When Roxy passed, my wife passed, for those of you who don't know, in March. She was one of the original people who started this company back in 2014. And she joined just to pay a bill, and then she found value in herself that she didn't even know she had. And she became an advocate for helping other people. And that's really what she did for her business. It did not turn into, hey, how do I make the most money? She made enough money to retire me. And I got to spend the last 2 years of her life basically loving on her and helping her with the business and loving on our grandkids. And that's what I did that's what Monique gave me. And that's a gift that is priceless. It's the time that you have no idea that you're going to need, and you never know when you're going to need it. And I'm telling you, there's people on the call that either today they need something in their lives, and it could just be great hair, could be fixing that hair that you're having trouble with, that you go, man, I just don't like the way, I don't feel my best. And we want to help you feel your best on the inside and out. and we want to help you put money in your pocket if that's something that's interest of you. So I definitely would like you guys to think about this. I would like you to be able to, whatever you do when you leave this call, consider that you can decide what happens in the next chapter of your life. It doesn't have to be a virus, a boss, a government, or anybody that dictates what happens in your life. You can do it for yourself, your family, and change your life in a way that you have no idea that you even need it. So that's where I'm at. I'll hand it back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Erin, and thank you, Dawn, so much, and thank you, Monty. Monty will be a part of our Tuesday calls moving forward. We're so excited to have her here as a co-host. And Dawn, thank you for taking time out in your evening and sharing your heart and your story with us and giving us some wonderful tips and answering some questions. So I'm going to get right into the prizes. Don't forget to go back to the market partner that invited you here this evening and ask as many questions as you need. Sometimes it takes writing those down so you don't forget, and then, giving them a call or sending them a message and just saying, I have a whole bunch of questions here written down that I would like you to answer for me. So don't be afraid to do that. We all still ask questions to this day. And no question is a silly question. So I have every single person that is in the chat so far. And last call for any guests that have not put their names in there as of yet. But I have every single person that has so far. And the market partners that also put their guest name down, the names are in there. All right. Yes, Becky, love this call. It was a wonderful call, very inspiring. Okay, so we are going to do the first draw, and that is going to be for the Rewind Age Control Nectar. Here we go. Just going to give it a shuffle. All right, we have Julia H. Congratulations, Julia. So you have the Rewind. And we're going to shuffle again. And now we're drawing for the Night Haven. It smells so good. All right. And that's Vonda. Congratulations, Vonda. All right, everybody, please go back to the market partner that invited you if you're a winner and just let them know your address and they'll pass it on to Erin, Monty, and myself. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Dawn.
Thank you. Thanks, Dawn.